So you just did the hard part of graduating from a psychiatric nurse practitioner course, and you are now a nurse practitioner. However, you have to now pass a board certification that is completely different than anything that you have ever done in school. Hi, my name is Dr. Priscilla Davis, and I am a double board certified family and psychiatric nurse practitioner. And today I'm here to talk to you guys about how you can pass your PMHNP for the first time. So let's go. I just did this a couple months ago. Actually, a couple weeks ago. No, it's a couple months ago. And I just want to let you know how I did it. And so can you. You can do anything. Just put your mind to it. You got through the school. That was the hard part. Now, this you can do. So, the first thing I did was my school said that, hey, as soon as you get out of school, you've done 2 years of schooling. And now everything that you learned from the first year to now is going to be on your board certification. How are you going to remember the things that you learned the very first year on your first semester and all remember all of that, including test taking strategies and tips and sit for the board and pass on the first time? It's going to be a little difficult. And their first recommendation was here, take a course. And they gave me, they didn't give it to me, I can't pay for it, but Fitzgerald. I took that course because the school was like, hey, we recommend that you take it. You take the pre-test and you do the course, take the post-test, see how you do. Fitzgerald is a good starting, it's a good base. But it's one of those recordings, and if you don't listen to it multiple times, it's kind of difficult to grasp the concept, and it can be a little bit much. It's more textbook heavy, research heavy. It's not going to get you that nitty gritty. Second thing I did was Dr. Lopez's NP exam coach. He is amazing. And I took his crash course 3 times. And the last crash course I did, I took his crash course Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, and I tested that Monday and I passed. And a bunch of things that he talked about on his crash course was on, if not everything, was on the exam. And I highly recommend his stuff. We're going to go into it. And the last thing I did was, since I decided which board I was going to take, because you can do ANPP or ANCC. I might have gotten that wrong, but I decided to do ANCC. So because it's widely recognized, ANP, A Yeah, ANPP just released their exam a couple years ago, so there's kind of like they're getting their credibility, and that's fine. But I don't have time to try and figure out. Hey, I'm gonna do this. I know exactly what I wanted to do with my Psych NP. I wanted to get online, do um, do exams with Headway. I wanted to get into Alma, and that's what I wanted to do with my Psych MP, along with grow my insurance arm of my practice. So as I went into that, that's what I was thinking. That's why I chose the ANCC. And I also know that, I have a doctorate. I may want to teach one day, and the ANCC is recognized for nurse practitioners and programs for so it's recognized if you want to teach one day. So that's eventually what I was thinking in the back of my head. That's why I chose ANCC. Not to say that ANPP was bad, but that's the reasoning why I chose that, because I'm not gonna wait 10 years until the market decides, hey, we like the ANPP exam better. So that's my decision making. And then the second thing that I did, no, I took the ANCC exam course, and I felt like if AI did a they hired AI to do their course, that was definitely a disservice, because I paid, you pay $400 for a course and you expect excellence. I mean, you expect, and then they had their test bank as well that I paid for. I was like, I'm not paying for it. I paid for this, and it's not what it all cracked up to be. And when I took the exam, I realized that that was definitely nothing, not even how they worded it. They just complicated tasks and diagnosis. They complicated it and they made it too wordy. They made it too AI driven. So no, I don't recommend that course, especially if you're going to spend money and want to pass on the first time. That was a waste of money, sadly. Nothing against ANCC, but that specific course was garbage. Um, and the second thing that I did was, so number one, I took course. I took a course. And number two, I did practice questions. I started out with different apps, but in 75 practice questions every single day the last month. I did multiple question banks. However, Dr. Lopez's question banks were the most helpful and they had proper rationale. I also did the ANCC question bank, which is definitely different, but the topics were similar. The topics were similar to Dr. Lopez's topics too. So their question bank helped me more than their actual course, but Dr. Lopez's question bank was far more superior than ANCC's question bank, and that was, I mean, it, phenomenal. And the Fitzgerald question bank, it was okay. It was okay, and I did a couple of apps. But that wasn't anything as intense as, hey, this is like passing my board. So Dr. Lopez also has four um, four test like he's got 600 text bank questions. He's got four exam-like exams. So he had exam 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you were supposed to take them like you were taking the board. So and a lot of it had really good rationales, and it definitely helped prepare you to sit for that. And the reason why I did 175 questions every single day was because the question bank, yes, I did the same questions sometimes. However, this exam is to help you, is you're supposed to get board certified through this. But the exam is exhausting, mentally exhausting, physically exhausting, emotionally exhausting. It's spiritually, like all the things. It will drain you, and that is something that you need to think about before it's draining. You're sitting in the text bank, it's 3.5 hours, like 175 questions, 3.5 hours. 25 questions are questions that are throwaway questions. So you have all this time, and some of these questions are paragraph forms. Like, if you have ADHD, take your extra time that you need, because this is intense. So that's why I did 175 questions every single day, especially the last month. And sometimes I did twice a day. Sometimes I did 300 questions a day. So it just, I knew that I wanted to pass this. I wanted to pass the first time. And I didn't have time to waste. So that's why it was intense. I also had a job waiting on me, so they were like breathing down my neck. And I did that. I took the test maybe a week before I graduated, so it was intense. It was an intense time in my household, in my life. Third thing I did was I listened to the lectures over and over and over again. I did an exam earlier in my college career, and it tested what kind of learner are you, like audio learner or are you a visual learner. So that type of test kind of showed me um, what it is that I did best and how I learned best. Excuse me. So I know that I'm an audio learner. Like, if I hear something, I can like remember it, but I need to hear it like at least a dozen times. And I also rewrote my notes multiple times. That's number four. I rewrote my notes multiple times. So I read it, I listened to it, I read it, I highlighted, I read it, and then I rewrote my notes multiple times. He has 5 modules. I did modules 1 through 5. I listened. Module 1 to 3, I rewrote every single day while I was listening to it. So I'm using my brain, I'm using it tactically, using all 5 of my senses to learn this content. And not only because I want to pass the exam, but if I'm messing with someone's like their brain, their nerves, their neurochemicals, like I need to be putting in that time. And yes, I went through the classes and I did the courses, and as wonderful as it may sound, Like, you really need to know this stuff. So, because this is actually impacting someone's life for the better, and you kind of want to know your stuff. So, I mean, that's why I did it, and that was the driving force. And I really, really wanted to get through, get it done, and not tarry. Last thing I did, I prayed every single day. God help me. Because it was, I mean, it was exhausting, emotionally exhausting. You know, I spent more than I needed to, but I rather had spent that money and know that, hey, I don't need it, and come back and tell you, hey, this is worth it. But yeah, that's how I did it. You can do it. However type of test learner, test taker you are, however you learn, know that about yourself, know thyself. So um, take a crash course, take a course if you need it, do practice questions, and listen, rewrite your lectures, use all five of your senses, and pray to God every day, and you will get through it. You're going to get done. If this was very helpful, let me know. Put in the comments. Ask me any questions. I just took it a couple of weeks ago, or month, two couple months ago, I guess now. And this content is still fresh in my brain. So let me know what your thoughts are. And thank you. Thank you very much. You guys have a great day. Bye bye.